an illustrious 16-year NFL career. You accomplished a lot, but I think of the longevity that you were able to do what you do and you did it at a high level. What do you attribute that to?
I think anytime you're talking about longevity and consistency, I mean, there's so many factors that go into that. I mean, some of it is obviously being blessed to just, you want to call it being blessed, lucky, whatever it is you believe in, being able to, have things go in your way and have things you avoid. Because obviously all of us know in the game of football, one thing's guaranteed, you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, 100% rate, right?
That's it. So there's obviously things that also, though, that I think it would discredit the work you put in and the mentality you have for, continuing on a day in and day out basis, attacking, like, how do I be at my best? I think for me, something I was blessed in is at a really young age, I was in an awesome strength conditioning program in high school. It's still something that I equate a lot of my success to. An amazing strength coach that was way ahead of his time. And from the age of 13, I was training no differently really than any strength coach I ever had the rest of my career. I mean, this guy was way ahead of his time at that time and really where sports were, and with lifting weights and getting bigger and faster and stronger on a daily basis. So that really set this, I call it foundational strength and foundational fitness that I had, that I really could spend my NFL career taking care of my body, not having to live in the weight room, because I had this basis already of I don't have to earn anything in the weight room anymore. I've already got all that. It's really, how do I maintain? How do I continue to stay healthy and really in great shape? And so I could spend my effort and time in that, because the reality is there's a lot of NFL guys that get banged up just trying to stay strong enough to play the game, trying to keep their body where they feel good out there on the field. I never really had to do that. I could spend my time almost unwinding a little bit of that, focusing on mobility, focusing on agility, focusing on being a lineman who was in really good shape, right? And so I always had that basis of being really strong. I mean, I didn't have wrestling in the South, but I was a powerlifter. So I grew up in high school. I was a starting, center power forward on the basketball team, and I was the heavyweight state champion in powerlifting. So, like, two things that do not go together.
They don't go together.
Flat out, that, like I always say, like, I mean, how are you this, because high-hipped, skinny-legged left tackle, like, it's just not a lineman body, right? But it's because I was playing hoops in the afternoon, but before I went to hoops, I was squatting 600 pounds on my back in high school. And so I was able to build this foundational strength, but also have the agility. And that carried on to my NFL career. I played left tackle like I was playing basketball defense, and that's it. Just stay in front of them, and the goal and the quarterback are the same thing.
That's your thing, man. Like, a lot of people sleep on this man's career in terms of the consistency, the longevity, what that means. You definitely one of the goats, bro. And what's even more admirable, you think of sports on how you did it your way, right?
Yep.
You think of the buzzer beater in the finals to win the finals. You think of that walk-off home run in the World Series. You won the Super Bowl in your last game in the NFL, bro. Take us to that moment where you're like, I did it my way. I'm out the game now.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's obviously 11 years in Cincinnati, and then to go spend 5 in LA, and have some of the most success you had in your whole career in that time in LA, and had a lot of great years in Cincy too. Really, we had a great run. We just couldn't figure out a way to win a playoff game, and the postseason really what hurt us. But yeah, I think to me, it's really, when I look back on my career, that moment was sick, but it's really like, all right, in high school, to have the opportunity to go 58-2 in the 4 years I was there and go be a part of 3 state championship teams, to go to LSU. And at that time, they really hadn't been successful, for quite some time. I think their last national championship was in 1953 or something, so like, you go to LSU, you win a national championship with Nick Saban, and then you go to the NFL, and Cincinnati had been struggling for years, and it's like all of a sudden 7 out of 11 years we go to the playoffs, and then you go to LA. LA had been struggling for 15, 16 years, and they hadn't had a winning season since like 03 or something. I get there in 17, and we win 3 division championships, go to 2 Super Bowls, have a chance to win one at the end. I look back and it's like, man, this legacy of like everywhere you were at, it feels like you left it better than you found it. And that to me is what I always wanted to do. It's who I am as a person. I don't care if it's a room, a sporting event, a person I meet. Like, I want to leave the situation or the encounter better than I found it. And to end it, and I always say, like, it feels like that reward of all that time you put into everything, but to end it where you're playing for the Rams, you play the team you used to give everything you had to in Cincinnati, in the Super Bowl, you win Walter Payton Man of the Year, and you can walk off with the 2 franchises you represented. Just felt like an epic moment, like a movie almost, to walk off that game. And There's so many layers to it that made it really special that I always look back to. But it was a pretty unreal moment for sure. Like, not the whole week was just like sitting there thinking, like, I knew it was my last game ever. I'm playing the other franchise that my heart and soul is in. To have the honor to do that made that whole entire week feel like, man, I just feel blessed to be here and have the honor of, like, I'm going to get to go with the two franchises I'm invested the most in. I'm going to get to end my career playing in a game with those two playing in it, in the Super Bowl, in the peak of their franchises, was just something I'll never forget.